Meet Joey. Joey is a computer scientist. A computer scientist is a person who creates computer programs, like games you can play on a phone. Other computer scientists create computer programs that use VR. VR stands for virtual reality. Virtual reality refers to technology that lets people see 3D images. Today, Joey is creating special glasses that use VR. The glasses can be used in social studies classes by kids who are learning about westward expansion of the United States and the creation of the Transcontinental Railroad. Westward expansion was the period of time when the U.S. wanted to expand their territory from the East Coast to the West Coast. This period of time started in 1840 with the idea of manifest destiny. Manifest destiny refers to the idea that the U.S. had the right to expand their country as far west as they wanted. This idea allowed the U.S. to justify their expanding borders. The Transcontinental Railroad was the first railroad in the U.S. to be built across the entire U.S. territory. This railroad combined different railroads so that people could travel from both ends of the country. When students put on the VR glasses, they can click on 3 buttons on the side. Each button will show 3D images of different people who lived during this time period. When students click on the first button, they will be able to see members of the Meskwaki Nation being pushed out of their land. This area is now modern-day Iowa. The Meskwaki people were native to the Midwestern territory of North America. The land that the Meskwaki people lived on was taken from them by the U.S. government. The government wanted to expand the borders, which meant claiming land even if Native Americans were living there. Students will be able to see how the Meskwaki people were angry, scared, and confused about why they were being displaced from their home when they were the first to live there. When students push the second button, they will be able to see images of European immigrants and African Americans working to build the railroad across the entire United States. Students will be able to see how this was very difficult and that the workers were overworked, tired, and even injured. The workers had to build the tracks under harsh conditions that were dangerous and exhausting. When users push the third button, they will see pictures of people who own the railroad companies. These were very wealthy businessmen who were excited about the idea of owning and operating their own railroads. Joey hopes that teachers and kids will use the VR goggles to learn about the different perspectives of people who were affected by the Transcontinental Railroad and Western expansion. Joey also wants students to understand that different perspectives of these people influence the historical sources they created. For example, a letter written by businessmen would discuss how happy they were about the railroad being built and that they might be nervous to see if the railroad would make them money. While the letter by a businessman would be upbeat, a letter written by African Americans or immigrants who built the railroad would be drastically different. The letters written would describe the severe injuries they faced when building the railroad and the emotions of risking their lives for their work. Joey hopes that his VR goggles will help students understand how different perspectives influence the way historical events are recorded. Now it's your turn to go on an adventure and use technology to teach others about westward expansion.